Hello guys and welcome to my chapter review of chapter 260 of Tokyo Revengers. And the title for chapter 260 is called, Squaring Off Against. And at the beginning of this chapter we see the fight of the first generation versus the 10th generation Black Dragons. We see that Benkei started charging at Taiju, and Benkei started winding up a punch from his right fist. In the next panel we see that Benkei was able to land his punch, and this punch hit Taiju directly in the face. And Benkei says, "Take this." And while he is getting punched in the face, Taiju is gritting his teeth. And we also see that Benkei has an angry look on his face. And then Wakasa started charging at Taiju, and Wakasa asked Taiju if he thinks he is a big shot. And then Wakasa started jumping in the air in order to try to land a flying kick on Taiju, and this kick hit Taiju directly on the neck. And while he is getting kicked in the face, Taiju is gritting his teeth. We also see that Takemichi is watching the fight, and when he saw Taiju get hit he became very worried. Benkei is attacking Taiju from the front, and Wakasa is attacking Taiju from behind. Benkei is punching Taiju in the face with a punch from his right fist. And Wakasa is winding up a kick from his right leg. And Takemichi is still watching the fight. Takemichi thinks that he has to go help Taiju, because he is getting beat up in a one-sided fight by the strongest duo. However, right when Takemichi was about to help, Taiju suddenly yelled at Takemichi and he told him not to step in. Taiju tells Takemichi to leave this fight to him, because Takemichi is the person who is supposed to be Mikey's hero. And then Takemichi agrees, and he starts running away in order to go fight against Mikey. We see that Taiju spits out some blood, and Taiju says that he won't let these bastards get in the way of his captain. And then Taiju started charging at his opponents, and Taiju was yelling at the same time. On the next panel we see Coco and Inupi, and they are watching the fight. And they are both very surprised that Taiju is being pushed back. Inupi suddenly yelled out to Taiju, and Inupi told him to be careful, because even him and Coco could not defeat Wakasa and Benkei. And then Coco says, "Damn it, Taiju can't even defeat them?" In the next panel we see Wakasa, and Wakasa just says, "Benkei, let's do that." And Benkei responds by saying, "Roger." We see that Wakasa started striking a special fighting pose, and Benkei started crouching downwards. However, in the next page we get to see Senju, and Senju started talking to Coco and Inupi. Senju says that Wakasa and Benkei are going to use a fighting move that is called the downhill rush. And Senju says that she has only seen this move happen in the dojo. She says the move starts off by Wakasa stopping Taiju, and then Benkei will finish him off. And Senju says that this move is their special deadly combo, however she has only seen them do it on a dojo mat before so that the victim doesn't die. Senju suddenly became very worried, and she yelled out to try to stop Wakasa and Benkei. Senju tries to tell Wakasa and Benkei not to carry out this move. She tells them that they do not need to take it that far, because they already have the upper hand in this fight. And Senju is very worried that Taiju will be killed. Wakasa and Benkei both have very determined looks on their faces, and then Benkei says, "Let's do this." And Wakasa says, "Alright." And then they both started charging at Taiju in order to carry out their special attack, however Taiju was not impressed, and Taiju just scoffed at them. The legendary duo runs towards Taiju, however Taiju was able to stop both of them by grabbing them by the head with both of his hands. And Taiju says, "Go that far? No way, you can't even do that anymore, right?" And when Senju saw that Taiju was able to stop their special attack, she became very surprised. In the next page Taiju is still grabbing both of their heads, and Wakasa and Benkei became very frustrated when they saw that Taiju was able to stop their special attack. But Taiju just makes fun of them, by smiling right in front of their faces. And Taiju says, "So you had quite the run-in with my cat and dog duo, didn't you? And that left you all worn out." To which Inupi replies, "Dog." And Coco replies, "Cat?" And then in the next page, Taiju suddenly slams Wakasa and Benkei to the ground, and he slams both of their skulls directly on the gravel. And Taiju just says, "It is over for you, legendary duo." And while he says this, Taiju has a very angry look on his face, and he has two veins popping out of his forehead. In the next page we see Wakasa and Benkei laying on the floor, and Taiju is just standing in front of them. And Taiju was able to knock them out all by himself, and he did it with only a single attack. When Senju saw Taiju knock out the legendary duo, she became very impressed with Taiju's strength, and Senju just said, "Amazing." We see that Taiju was able to beat them both, and he only has a couple scratches on his face, and then in the next panel Taiju started talking to Takemichi. And Taiju just says, "Now, Hanagaki, it is your turn." Anyway guys, on the next page Takemichi started approaching Mikey. We see that Mikey is just standing on top of a cargo container, and he has his hands in his pockets. And Takemichi is standing below, and they are both staring at each other. We see that Takemichi has a very determined look on his face, and Takemichi started talking to Mikey. Takemichi says, "Come down here, Manjiro Sano." And on the next page Mikey came down from the cargo container in order to confront Takemichi. And we see the official title from the editor, which confirms that Mikey will be fighting against Takemichi. On the last page of this chapter, we see a close-up shot of Mikey, and his hair is being blown by the wind, and he just has a blank expression on his face. And then Mikey finally started talking to Takemichi. Mikey says, "So it all comes down to this fight." In this chapter it is confirmed that the presidents of each gang will finally face each other, and whoever wins will decide the outcome of this battle. There is also a note from the editor that says, "The final battle of destiny between Takemichi and Mikey begins." I honestly do not think that Takemichi will stand a chance in a one-on-one fight with Mikey, so I think he will get some help from his allies, since most of the Toman members have gotten back on their feet. Anyway guys, I am very impressed with Taiju in this chapter. The fact that he was able to beat the legendary duo with only a single attack is very impressive, and I think he has definitely gotten stronger since the last time we saw him. If Wakasa and Benkei are knocked out for good, then I think that Taiju will probably go on to fight against Shuji Hanma, because Hanma is the only executive that is left standing, and he still doesn't have an opponent yet. And I think that will be a fair fight because they are both already tired. I also think that there is still a chance that Takemichi will appear, because I think that he needs to be there when Sanzu reveals the truth about how he got the scars on his face. And if Takemichi does come to the battle, I think he will show up when it starts raining. The reason I say this is because Shinichiro used to tell Takemichi that he is the rainbringer, so if it starts raining then I think he will definitely appear. Anyway guys, that was it for my chapter review of chapter 260 of Tokyo Revengers. Also let me know what you guys think of the chapter in the comments below. And like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and thank you for watching.